fam. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. My intention was to get on and start this new series of Show Me How to Love, but February was a really, really busy month. Things kind of got pushed to the side. However, we're here now. So I do have notes in front of me, so you will see me periodically looking down just to look back and see what I've written down. But welcome to Chat 1. We're going to kick this off. Show me how to love. All right, so let's jump into this chat. Today we're going to chat about the understanding of what real love is. So I was doing a little research online about love and how love and affection, how it affects humans. And what I discovered is, as humans, we are built with the need for love. Each one of us has that innate need for love, for affection, because it helps us grow unknowingly. Even to those who consider themselves, tough, strong, or even those who are somewhat, I would say, a loner or like to stay isolated, they even have that need for love and affection, even though they don't show it. So what is this real love that our hearts are longing for, and how do we find it? How do we go about getting this? We know our heart. You know what your heart wants. Your heart wants what your heart wants, and you know what you want. But how do we go about getting those feelings that our heart is longing for? Where do we find this? So it takes us to the point of, what have we been doing to find this? Okay, so we've all found ourselves in situations, and like I said in the previous chat that I did, well, not chat, but the previous, I guess, introduction of Show Me How to Love. This is real talk. This is going to be real chat. We're not sugarcoating it. So, if you're not ready for the real, you may want to just click off right now. Okay? All right. So we've all found ourselves in situations, or as we now say, entanglements, which we have placed ourselves in out of the desire to pursue that longing that our heart wants. Unknowingly, we find ourselves in patterns of cyclical dating. 6 months you're dating this guy, 6 months you're dating this guy, or for guys, 7 months you're dating this girl, you find out, you know what, I thought she was it, not the one, let me hop on to the next. So we find ourselves in like these cyclical processes of dating and searching and seeking, because we're trying to fulfill. There's something in our heart that we're trying to fulfill. It's a longing that we have, and we know, okay, it's got to be out there, but it's been years, I haven't been successful. Let me just keep on until I find what I'm looking for. Okay, so during this process, and I'm gonna, this is geared towards both guys and girls. All right, so ladies, during this process, for us, we date a guy for 6 months. And then we start getting that feeling, at first it's like, oh, this is heaven. This is the greatest guy. I can see myself with him. And then 6 months later, you start seeing things, and you start, it's like, is this really what my heart is looking for? Well, I thought it was, but now I'm starting to see some things, and he's not really giving me what I need. This is not it. So, you're on the phone with your girlfriends and you're talking, and, your friends are like, all right, girl, how's the new boo doing? What's going on? And you get this, he's okay. Facial expression and all. He's okay. So it's like 6 months ago, he was, oh girl, he is it. This is it. And then 6 months down the road, you're looking, you found out stuff about him that just, it's just not, that desire, the longing that you wanted and needed, it's not coming from him. And it's like, okay, he's okay. So then you find yourself looking for what? The next person. Maybe this person is the one that can give me what I'm longing for, that can fulfill my needs and what my heart is looking for, that can reach those expectations. So, guys, same thing for you. You're dating a girl. And, month 6 comes up, month 7, and the person you thought she was, you start kind of looking sideways because who you thought she was is not really who she is. Now, yeah, for the first maybe month or 2, we always put our best foot forward. And, we're there, giving you 100% and maybe 110%. But after a while, it's only but so long that we can keep up and continue what we're doing. You start seeing that true person. So, guys, 6 months, 7 months down the road, you start seeing some things and you're like, your boy's calling you, hey, where's the new boo? What's going on? How y'all doing? Your response, or you just shaking your head. No words, shaking the head. Then what do? You go back to the drawing board, cyclical dating. We go back to another person, hoping that, guess what? We'll find exactly what it is that we're looking for, that our hearts are longing for, that our hearts desire to have. So you get to that point and, you're like, after these relationships, one after the other, you're like, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. This is just, I don't know what's going on. I keep meeting this person. I keep meeting that person, and it's just not giving me what I need. And while the person may be a great person, they may be a nice person, but it's still not giving you. You know what it is that you need inside. And once I get that, I'll know what it is. I'll be okay. Things will be good. So, let me tell you, what if I told you that it's possible to find real love and to find it without going through that process of cyclical dating, person after person, and, just to find, that the person you're with is not what you want. You go to the next person, that person is not what you want. Go to the next person, that's not what you want. And here we have 5 years down the road and you're still on that process of what? Trying to fulfill a need and a desire and a longing that your heart has. So if I told you it is possible and you can do it by avoiding the process of this cyclical dating, what would you say? Would you be on board? Or, do you just want to continue the process you're going through only to find that, this just isn't working? So, so many people have lost hope in love. And it's not because love is not out there. It's just, the way the world is these days, our definition of love is very skewed. And, it has caused people to look at love and relationship and affection so differently. And because of it, a lot of people they've lost hope and they don't feel that there is real love around. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I can't get to this, but maybe I'll just settle for this. Maybe this will do. But no, there shouldn't be a point of settling when it comes to real love, especially when there is real love out there for you. And the thing is, you shouldn't lose hope. And all of this time going from entanglement to entanglement to entanglement, you've been looking for real love, but you've been looking in the wrong place. Just that simple. Looking in the wrong place. The foundation of real love, and the only one person can satisfy that longing, that craving, that desire you have in your heart to be loved. It's only one person that can meet that need, and not just meet it, but exceed your needs. That one person, Jesus. I'm going to give you a moment of silence. That one person, Jesus. Just think about it. Now, you might be saying, okay, Monica, that is not what I thought you were going to say. You know what? I'm about to cut this off because I've heard this before, or, yeah, people say that, but it doesn't happen. Let me tell you, by personal experience, Jesus is the only one that can give you that longing, that desire, that need for your heart to just feel, it's like a warmth, it's a covering, it's a protection. No man can give that to you. Only Jesus can give that to you. And without going into detail, just to share with you, I've been separated for 3 years. I've been divorced for 2 years. And if you've experienced a divorce or separation, you will know that a lot of emotions, going through the process, there's a lot that happens during that time. A lot that comes along with it. And along with those emotions, you also experience life lessons through that process. It's things that maybe you didn't see when you were married. And, it's actually things sometimes that will even better you in the future, so that when you are with that one that, your purpose partner, that you'll know, and you'll be able to take some of the mistakes and things you've done in the past, and you'll be able to use that to make a better relationship in the future. But during this process, in these life lessons and these emotional roller coasters that you're going through, and I'll say for me, during the process of going through my divorce, I had an aha moment. And my aha moment was realizing that there was no perfect man. No perfect man out in the world that can make me happy all of the time. No perfect man out in the world that can meet my every expectation. And for so long, for me, I began to understand where I set expectations very high. And, realistically, you can't place those expectations on a man, on a human, whether a guy, girl, whoever. You can't place those expectations. Because first of all, men and women, what are we? We're human. And we're not Jesus. So guess what? We're not perfect. So when you set those expectations on a human, on a person, you're going to get some disappointment because they're not perfect. None of us are. So when I got my aha moment about, there's no perfect man, only Jesus, I decided to take a step and build an intimate relationship with Jesus. Now, when I say intimate relationship, I mean scheduling intentional date nights with Jesus. Yes, it may sound a little, kind of far-fetched, but that is what you need in order to build your intimacy with Jesus, so that he can fulfill everything you want inside of your heart. All of your longings, all of your desires. Yes, he already knows, but he's looking for you to make that sacrifice and take that time for him. Look at it when you're dating. When you're dating someone, what do? You're calling up each other, and you're scheduling times, weeks, maybe months in advance. Okay, we're going to do this day. Hey, this concert is next in 2 weeks. Hey, let's go ahead and do this concert. Let's put this down. So we're scheduling in advance. Just like we're doing when we're dating, that's what we should do with Jesus. We should schedule that intentional time, because in the world, when we're out there dating, what happens? You're scheduling that intentional time. You're spending time with that person. And what happens in that process? You two get closer. You start to know each other. You start to feel a bond. And you start to, it brings a togetherness with both individuals. Same thing with Jesus. He wants that intentional time with you because he wants that intimacy. He wants that bond. He wants that closeness. He wants that with you. Although he already knows what you need, it's up to us to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to make this, I'm going to schedule this time. I'm going to be intentional about giving Jesus everything, about giving him my heart. Even though he knows I'm going to do this, because guess what? It's going to help me in the long run. I'm not going to have to be doing this, this cyclical dating, getting into these entanglements, because guess what? My heart is on one foundation, and that foundation is Jesus. So with your intentional time, now for me, and everyone should find what's best for them. For me, I find that when I put my kids to bed, the house is quiet, no cell phone, no TV. I sit on my couch. I have a place where I sit, and it's just me and God. I take out a scripture. I read a scripture, and normally it's something that either It may be that I'm trusting God on a scripture where, I need to, whether it's trusting God, I find a scripture on trusting God. Whether it's clarity, I find a scripture on clarity. Whatever it is, maybe during that time that you're going through, find a scripture. Whether it's about the blessings of God, whatever it is, find a scripture. Read that scripture. Afterwards, for me, this is my process, and you'll find your own. But after I read my scripture, I put on my worship music. And I worship. That's my intimate time with God, where I can give him my heart. Not looking at what's going on around, but it's just me and him. Such an intimacy. I give him my heart. And after that, what I do, and prayer is an important part. What I do, and it could be different for different people, but for me, when I do pray, sometimes for me, silence is better. And it's not always running my mouth, but listening to what Jesus is saying. So sometimes silence for me, that's my communication with God. That's when he talks to me. That's when he shares with me ideas. That's when he shares visions during that time of silence. So for you'll figure out your own time, your own schedule of intentional time. But it's important that you do this intentional, intimate time, because that is the only way that you will be drawn with that foundation to Jesus. It can't be a one-time thing. It can't be a once-a-year thing. It has to be a continual, intentional thing that you do, because just like I said with dating, you don't date a person 1 month. You want to get to know this person, but you date him once a month and you think, okay, this is a good way for me to get to know him. No. A way for you to get to know a person is to continuously have interaction with them. That's what intentional time is. It's continual interaction with our Father. And believe me, once you do it, it will change your life. It will absolutely change your life. And as you continue to build an intimate relationship with Jesus, he'll begin to fill your heart. You will start feeling things and noticing things that maybe were there before that aren't there now. When I say it changes your life. It really changes your life. It changes your perspective on things. And it just, even other people will see it. It's like you may not recognize it. Other people will see the change in you. So, that being said, when you find that intentional, intimate time, and you continuously build on that with Jesus, this is when you'll find that true love, that real love that you desire. When you find it, when you experience it, you'll know. It will be an experience that you will never want to, it's an experience that you will always want to have. Once you experience that, I guarantee you will not go back to what you were doing before to find that longing desire. You won't go back to cyclical dating. You won't go back to the entanglements because you found it. And once you have it, you don't want to lose it. And, for me, like I said, for years, I was seeking and longing for this, this fulfillment. And when I found it in Jesus, it just, once again, my life will never be the same. So what I want to do is I want to share with you, it's a scripture from John chapter 15, and I'm going to read verses 9 through 17 through it's the Passion Translation. Let's see, John chapter 15, verses 9 through 17. All right, so it says, I love each of you with the same love that the Father loves me. You must continually let my love nourish your hearts. If you keep my commands, you will live in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands, for I continually live nourished and empowered by his love. My purpose for telling you these things is so that the joy that I experience will fill your hearts with overflowing gladness. So this is my command. Love each other deeply as much as I have loved you. For the greatest love of all is a love that sacrifices all. And this great love is demonstrated when a person sacrifices his life for his friends. You show that you are my intimate friends when you obey all that I commanded you. I have never called you servants because a master does not confide in his servants, and servants don't always understand what the master is doing. But I call you my most intimate and cherished friends, for I reveal to you everything that I've heard from my Father. You didn't choose me, but I've chosen and commissioned you to go into the world, to bear fruit. And your fruit will last, because whatever you ask of my Father for my sake, he will give it to you. So this is my parting command: love one another deeply. So when I read this, first of all, it's in red. So this is Jesus telling us. This isn't just somebody writing. These are the words of Jesus. And what it all comes down to is you cannot give real love if you've not accepted his love. You have to accept his love in order to love others. So if we go to verse 9, I just want to go back. Verse 9 states, I love each of you with the same love that the Father loves me. You must continually let my love nourish your hearts. I'm going to say that again, that last part. You must continually let my love nourish your hearts. This comes from your intimate time with Jesus. Continually letting him nourish your heart. Intimate, intentional time. Now, the key word here is continually, because like I said before, it's not a one-time thing. It's not a 1-month encounter. When you are dating someone, like I said, you would be disappointed if you only saw them once a month. You have to make your dates with Jesus priority. That it can't be said any other way. You have to make him priority. Now, we all have obligations and, things that come up, absolutely. But how about saying, instead of binge watching this TV show on Netflix, how about I take an hour or I take 30 minutes and I spend time with Jesus. I spend my intimate moment with Jesus. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is not a lot. That kind of sacrifice is what he's looking for. That's what he's looking for, to build that intimate relationship. So the key word, continually. And this, once again, I can't stress, this is Jesus saying this. You must continually let my love nourish your hearts. He's telling you, this is what you have to do. Then I want to take a look back at verse 10 really quickly. And verse 10, all right, and verse 10 states, if you keep my commands, you will live in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands. For I continually live nourished and empowered by his love. Jesus wants you to live in his love. His love is a forever thing. It's not an entanglement. It's not a process of cyclical dating. His love is forever. He wants you to be all in. And if you're all in, guess what? He's got you. He's going to give you the desires of your heart. He's going to give you that longing, those feelings that you so crave. He's going to give that to you. All right, now I want to take a look at verse 11. And when I read this verse, this one for me, it hit hard. And verse 11 says, my purpose for telling you these things is so that the joy that I experience will fill your hearts with overflowing gladness. Okay, I'm going to read this one more time. My purpose, Jesus is telling us, his purpose for telling us this is that his purpose for telling us these things is so that the joy that he experienced will fill our hearts with overflowing gladness. All right. Jesus wants you to experience the joy that he experienced. I mean, it doesn't get any plainer than that. The joy that will fill your heart with overflowing gladness, not just will fill your heart with gladness, but overflowing gladness. So of course I had to take a moment to just look up the word overflowing. Overflowing means to flow over bounds, to fill a space to capacity and spread beyond limits. To spread beyond limits. Okay, he's going to exceed your expectations. He's going to spread beyond what you can even think of what you need in your heart. He's going to give you that and more. Can a man do that? No. Can a woman do that? No. Only Jesus can do this. All right, and last verse. I'm not going to hold you long because we're almost 30 minutes in, but I want to also kind of take a look at verse 12 and verse 17. So verse 12 says, so this is my command. Love each other deeply as much as I have loved you. And verse 17. So this is my parting command. Love one another deeply. All right, so I want to bring to your attention with these two, verse 12 and verse 17. If you take a look into this verse, it's telling you what? Both verses are telling us to do things. And once again, this is stuff that Jesus is telling us to do. This stuff is in red. Jesus is saying, this is what I want you to do. This is what you should be doing. So in both verses 12 and 17, Jesus says what? Love each other deeply. And I want to bring it to your attention. One word that, and it's actually mentioned several times throughout these scriptures, but one word that consistently pops out is the word command. He's not asking us to, hey, maybe I think you should, or it might be a good idea if. No, he is saying, I command you. In verse 12, he's telling you, so this is my command. That's not a question. That's not asking you, do you think you want to do this? Or do you think it would be a good idea? No, he's telling you, this is my command. My command is to love each other deeply as much as I have loved you. In verse 17, so this is my parting command. Love one another deeply. He's commanding us. Love one another deeply. So how do we experience his love? How do we find real love? Jesus. Very simple. No entanglements, no cyclical dating. Jesus. One person. That is the foundation of love. We all search for love. We have this feeling of we know what we want. We know if we meet this particular person, if they give us this, it will satisfy us. If they do this for us, it will satisfy us. But where has that gotten us? If you haven't tried Jesus, you must try Jesus because he's the foundation of love. If we do this one thing, if we start by having intimate, intentional time with Jesus, if we start dating Jesus, if you will, this will set a foundation for us to experience his love in a way that once we experience his love, guess what? We'll be able to give it to others. So in closing, I hope you have found something from this chat that you can take away and, share with others. And I look forward to the next chat. I'm not sure when that will be, but I will definitely I will definitely be on with chat number 2, at least within the next 2 weeks. But like I said, if you enjoyed this, if you took something away from this, if you now, you say, okay, I have a greater understanding now, or at least that gave me something to think about of what real love is. Yeah, Monica, real love is Jesus. And I encourage you to try him. Try Jesus as your real love. Take some time starting this week. Go ahead and set up your intentional time with him. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, if it's 15 minutes. Just take that time to get to know him. And believe me, you will not be disappointed. Believe me, you will not. I've tried them for myself, changed my life. If you want your life changed, if you want to experience real love, that love that you've been longing for all these years, it's no need to chase anymore. You already know where to go. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next chat, and you all have a blessed day.